Just a really sound car. Driving this E39 M5 is, well, a time machine. It makes really good noises, Now I think this one's going to be the nicest example the market will probably see in 2020. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope that we're the one bringing it to you. You know, there's a lot of responsibility that goes into keeping that car in top shape until today, and that, you know, certainly in certain cases will be rewarded when market values change and then they go up. You know, these cars took a while for them to get to the bottom of their bell curve. For those of you that are not familiar with the bell curve concept, it's an easy car to drive with a high degree of confidence, and that's certainly what makes it very fun and I'm sure rewarding for so many of the enthusiasts that have experienced it at some point and then have gone other directions into other brands and other cars and had those other experiences to benchmark then towards this experience. There's a lot of people out there that owned an M5 back then, would love to own one again now, and have spent the last 10 or 15 or 18 years building their family or their business or whatever, or they've been removed from the car. We do have 3 more E39 M5s that are going to be coming to market soon, and we will be bringing them through our YouTube channel first as a first look opportunity, as we have done with this Imola Red. Eric Keller here, Enthusiast Auto Group. Today we're in EAG Super Secret Warehouse number 1, and we're going to talk about quite a special E39 M5, one finished in Imola Red that has a whopping 9,000 miles. If you are a subscriber to our YouTube channel, you will look at this car and say, but wait, I know that car. I saw that as an EAG First-Look 8-9 months ago when EAG said that's $150,000 and it's for sale. And you would not be mistaken, because that's exactly what happened. And one of the fellas that watched that video said, I'm going to call them and I'm going to buy it, and that's exactly what he did. And today, now here in the spring of 2020, we're offering this 9,200 mile car for a second time, mainly because this enthusiast, while a repeat client that did buy a Sport Evo from us, like that red one sitting there, similar to this red one sitting right there, but most accurately, I suppose, very similar to this black Sport Evo, since that is the color of the car he bought, just 29,000 miles young. Well, he checked with his wife on that car a little bit more so than he did when he bought this one. And, well, we stored the car for him for several months as part of our sales agreement, and got the call, said, hey, Mama's probably not going to be happy. Let's have that conversation about you buying the car back. And that's the conversation that EAG certainly is always welcoming to have, as we do want to buy all of our cars back, and we have made a business practice out of it, obviously. And so, well, we did just that. So without further ado, let's go take a fun little drive in this Imola Red M5 and, well, see what it's like to drive a 18-year-old car in new car condition for a second time in life. Driving this E39 M5 is, well, a time machine. It's the closest thing I think we will experience in going back to what it was like to drive one of these new in 2002 or 2003. And everything on the car, it's just the tactile textures, the feedback, the steering, the sounds, the operation of everything is pretty much what it was like back then. It certainly is amazingly nice and makes really good noises, just really solid. Sound is a good word. I mean, there's no creaks, there's no rattles. the door seals that you have to use the little BMW special lubricant on. None of that. Not to say that it showed up that way 7-8 years ago, or it showed back up last year when we bought the car back. There's always little things that you need to continually do and invest in to ensure that the car is always going to be operating at its peak performance level. Those are the things that are frankly part of EAG's Rejuve program, and the things that we'll do every time that we have the opportunity to put the car through the process again. Certainly the results today with the condition of this car are number one. It doesn't get any better than what this car is condition wise. I don't think that we'll see many others moving forward. They're going to be this nice, this low of mileage. I certainly hope so, and hope we can find some more really low mileage late production examples that we've not yet been able to enter their lives. But for now, I think this one's going to be the nicest example the market will probably see in 2020. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that we're the one bringing it to you. But until then, I don't have any long-term prospects that we're working on that are going to knock this one off the leaderboard. It's certainly a remarkable car that, compared to what you go out and spend top dollar buying a new M5 for. I mean, yeah, this is competition with buying a brand new M5, and it's at more costs more than that. But anybody can go out and buy a brand new this or brand new that, and having one that's this well kept and preserved, and all the responsibility and care that's gone into the car prior to, I mean, that's what you're buying. It's hard to be absent of a car's life, put it, mothball the car in a warehouse for 18 years. There's a lot of responsibility that goes into keeping that car in top shape until today, and that certainly in certain cases will be rewarded when market values change and then they go up. These cars took a while for them to get to the bottom of their bell curve. For those of you that are not familiar with the bell curve concept, when a car is new, it continues to depreciate, and most cars will just continue to go down. They don't apply to the bell curve theory. But certain cars, really great cars, like E39 M5s or E30 M3s or a 993 Turbo or a Gullwing, insert any top level Enthusiast BMW or any manufacturer car that it sells for more money today than it did at one point in its life. It went through obviously a change of direction, and usually that happens around the 15 year mark, around 15 years of age, and that is historically kind of where they will bottom out and then start going back up. Sometimes it happens at 10 years, sometimes it happens at 20. Where the bell curve goes and ends, well, nobody knows, and then it turns into a wave eventually after the car's mature enough. But there's a lot of people out there that owned an M5 back then, would love to own one again now, and have spent the last 10 or 15 or 18 years building their family or their business or whatever, or they've been removed from the car. They want to jump back into that top level car that they had, that they knew, that they now miss. And it's very, very difficult to be able to find one at this level, and that's certainly why the valuation is what it is, why the market has been what it has been over the last 7-8 years, as these cars have continued to change direction and value and appreciate. Having sourced this car from the original owner when it had just 3,000 miles and sold it to the second owner when up in Michigan, and buying it back from him here at the 9,000 mile mark a couple years ago, well, we're no stranger to buying our stuff back when the quality is, of course, at this level, and that's why we bought it the first time. And if we wouldn't want to buy it back the first time, we're not going to buy it to begin with, for the fact that, well, our business model is rooted on just that principle. Buy the best, sort it out to the best, and sell it to the best, and buy it back when they're done. I'm not going to rehash too much of the history on the car since the video previous. If you've not seen it, do just search unicorn E39 M5. You'll find it. This car is no shortage of just that description. It's a unicorn. Imola Red is obviously a striking color, and certainly an E39 M5, a rare one, especially to find in stock form. This is a Type A color, as I call it. Type A colors typically attract, well, awesome enthusiasts that love their cars, but they have a tendency and a natural inclination to modify and drive hard and maybe put away a bit, differently than most other enthusiasts would care to. Examples being Fire Orange and Laguna Seca Blue. Those colors typically have a much higher rate of attrition, a much lower quality average if we are to benchmark them to, say, titanium silver or jet black or carbon relative to the E39 M5 market. So finding a stock, never previously modified Imola Red E39 M5, well, when's the last time you saw one? And did it have 9,000 miles? I guess it did if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, but other than that, probably not, because I have not seen that either. This car is a little bit dirty because, well, I did go out and film a nice little fun driving video with the car that I am looking forward to sharing with you, so certainly stay tuned for that. The car is not perfect. It does have a couple very small imperfections here or there that would, indicate that it is a used car, and EAG will certainly point those out to you and show you those clearly prior to your acquisition. However, that will be the shortest portion of our conversation. The car does have all of its original paint as verified with our paint meter. Mechanically, the car wants for absolutely nothing, and we have gone through and done every last thing you can do to the car. Odometer sitting there at 9,263 miles. Driver's seat still has a velvety texture that's just, well, I'll let the photography and the video here speak clearly to that, especially the steering wheel too. Look at the grain of the steering wheel there still. It's just, it's near new. Listen. Under the hood, we will find the S62 that is still wearing all of its original components, including that lovely yellow special coolant tank that, no question, is original to the car. Certainly happy to change that out. As I noted in our last video, if somebody really wants the car to look perfectly brand new under there is not a failure rate, especially with 9,000 miles. That's just how the original ones age. Engine badge. That is really new looking, and that is super close to that when it is under pressure and in motion. And you will see on a lot of used M5s where that badge is worn a whole bunch, and you're like, how do you wear that badge? It's under the hood. Well, when that engine torques and those motor mounts eventually get more and more play, that engine will touch the underside of that hood and wear some of that color off. And if you see a really low mileage car that's got a whole lot of that color worn off, well, then you should probably keep looking at some things, because I bet you that's a city car. I bet you that's a car that's been driven hard and maybe put away a little wet. And it's my experience that those two things have a direct correlation. And after this many hundred E39 M5s, that experience is invaluable and certainly leads our decision-making process when to buy specific cars. So this car is available again for a second time. It's done very little mileage other than basically by my hand since we sold it last time, and is available to the next enthusiast owner. So no EAG First-Look video would be complete without a teaser of what is to come. And while this Imola Red M5 certainly has everybody's attention, the M3 lightweight there hiding in the corner will probably be one of the next EAG videos that we feature as a first look And just a quick teaser on this car. It is a repeat visitor. This is a car that EAG originally acquired from the first and only owner after he reached out to us through our website and provided us with a great opportunity to keep it in a great home, of which we've done twice. And it is one of the most special lightweights that we have acquired to date. It's got a fantastic story and an awesome relationship with a very special racetrack, albeit that relationship is not earned from going around it at speed. It's one of the fun clues I'll leave you with. It's got super low mileage on it relative to the market, but also enough mileage that you can use and enjoy it, as you should with all of these cars. They're meant to be driven. It's the ultimate driving machine for a reason, and driving these cars is frankly what most people originally fell in love with the brand, and that's exactly what brings us back to the M5 here today. Driving the E39 M5 is certainly a rewarding experience for the enthusiast driver. The communication from machine to driver is very, very clear. It's very predictable, and the car isn't going to really surprise you. It's just going to keep doing what it's supposed to do and keep doing it and keep doing it. It really just pulls and pulls and pulls, but also lets you know where all the corners are very, very clearly. It's an easy car to drive with a high degree of confidence, and that's certainly what makes it very fun and I'm sure rewarding for so many of the enthusiasts that have experienced it at some point and then have gone other directions into other brands and other cars and had those other experiences to benchmark then towards this experience. And I do think that is a big reason why so many people, enthusiasts, keep coming back to buying an E39 M5 for a second or third time. It's a car you just can't totally get out of your bloodstream, and the overall experience is among the best built with 4 doors. There's no shortage of material and media covering just that fact. This example is awesome because it really gives me a high watermark, a high benchmark to compare all the other M5s that it will and have gone through our Rejuve program. And when it's 18 years removed from new, with 9,271 miles, the experience that I now have today in 2020 is obviously going to be at a very high level to basically make sure that all the rest of the cars that are going through that program, and same with all of our pit crew, when they go through and do their quality control measurements and test drives and things, it certainly makes for a lot better finished product with all the other cars that are going through, both our customer rejuves and the cars, of course, that we have bought for EAG resale. I do think that it'll be a long time before we see another sub 20,000 mile Imola Red E39 M5. I think it'll be a very long time before we see many M5s with under 10,000 miles, especially in a later production variant. And this color, this car, this history, the amount of EAG involvement with this car over the years certainly bolsters my confidence in the car significantly, and is, well, why we kept the car for our own collection for a little bit, and frankly I'm going to regret selling the car again, I'm sure, when this car leaves. It is not going to be easily to replace our stable but can't keep them all and that is the business that we're in, and finding good homes for these cars. The next enthusiast, I'm sure, is going to love this experience, and we're certainly going to make it fun and support them throughout their ownership as we do after the sale, and making sure that they're doing the best job to enjoy the car to the car's fullest potential. All of our buyers do receive basically a how to care for XYZ model, for dummies, if you will, how to take care of an M5 for dummies, and it's got all the intervals, it's Mike Miller's old school maintenance schedule modernized a little bit, and we've got a detail guide as well, and setting our new owners up with the best local repair shop in their area is something that we enjoy doing as well, and want to make sure that the car in our absence is getting the best service, There's thankfully not a lot of repairs needed on a freshly rejuvenated EAG car, for a very long time, and that's our goal. That's the point of the program, is to forecast what those things will be, what the weak points are, and let's just go ahead and change them out within reason. And that certainly has yielded a lot of trouble-free and repair-free miles for, at this point, thousands of EAG owners. And every year our program does get more stringent and does get better. I would hope that in anybody's occupation or hobby, you're going to get better every year you do it. Now 20 years in, we're starting to find our groove. I do look forward to sharing the feedback from the next owner of this car and hearing what they think and feel about the driving dynamics of it, because it's just butterly smooth. I mean, the shifter is just it's awesome, just awesome. This is a perfect car to go for a beautiful drive in. It's just, I mean, I don't have words. It's perfect. I'm in love. This is the problem, actually. I drive the cars and I fall in love, and it's so hard to get rid of some of these cars. It's one of the hardest parts of the job, and knowing what this car is certainly makes it that much harder. It's not going to be an easy one to replace. That's for sure. Little things about the M5, like when you put it in reverse, the mirror dips. A lot of little quirks with this car relative to the era of its engineering, and a lot of them are just cool. The power telescoping wheel, which was quite a big option, a rare option, I suppose, in the period, reserved for the more luxurious examples, models, of course. The sport button, which certainly tightens up the steering as well as adds a bit more throttle action. It does make the throttle respond quite a bit quicker, and you can tell. It is kind of fun to push the M5 every once in a while and just let her shake her legs a little bit. One thing about the M5 many previous owners will remember is 6th gear and the highway. It still has nice, strong, long legs without having to downshift. A lot of clients, though, do prefer to drive on the highway in 5th, and I understand why. 4th is quite a bit more fun and will certainly provide some nice smiles per mile. It just really pulls well in any gear. It's just a rubber band of torque. We found ourselves back near EAG's HQ, and I figured it would be a good time to get the Imola M5 up in the air again. It's been about a year or so since its last service, and what better opportunity now that the weather is beautiful to obviously go out and have a nice fun late spring drive in this M5. And we'll go ahead and check all of the systems while we're here at the workshop, as we are doing here real time every drive cycle. Every day is quality control at EAG, and it's a lot of fun to be able to do this and call it our job, writing these lists. And obviously having a car that's at this high of a level certainly provides such a great base to build off of relative to the other cars, knowing what the new cars should feel and drive like today. So we will take a quick lap through EAG workshop number 2 while we're here. I do believe we have some E39 M5s that are in from all over the country, going through the Rejuve program in various states of configuration, from stock to modified, as we've seen in some of the other videos. The E39 M3 has always been a staple of our inventory, and it's great now to be able to change the course of a lot of those cars' lives moving forward and make a big investment into its future, both mechanically and cosmetically. So let's go take a lap. Inside EAG's workshop number 2, we've been taken over by E39 M3s. Quite a few of them, like these two, are competition package cars. This is a carbon black on black that is one of 3 cars we've just sold to a new Enthusiast client who lives in California and keeps a place in Michigan as well. He bought this carbon comp, another carbon comp with 11,000 miles, and then that titanium silver on Imola that you might recall from one of our earlier videos if you've subscribed to the channel and been tracking. Those 3 cars are going to be joining his collection here soon. Sean's just finishing up the final rounds of quality control and testing all the functions down to the accuracy of the GPS. The Interlagos Blue is about a 52,000 mile comp that has also sold and is going through its final rounds of quality control. Of course, the EAG mascot, our beloved E30 Diamond Schwartz on Cardinal, has now been spoken for and is heading to Oregon. I think this is going to be the furthest distance we've removed ourselves from this car's geographical location in the 15 years. This car's been a part of our life, a big part of our life, and having taught us tons of lessons, especially in the technical side. It's going to be great to pair this car with another enthusiast. This guy is a big motorsport fan, racing driver, and this is his first entrance into the E30 world and the vintage BMW world. So it's going to be great to get his feedback once the car arrives, safe and sound. Another EAG Rejuve. This is a client's car that's been shipped in, and as we featured with the E39 M5 or 540 M Sport 9 and S3 touring video, we have some pretty wild E46s in here at the moment, including this active auto work, this nightmare of a performance track machine. Really cool setup on this, cooling the top of the valve cover and the coils. It's an interesting design that I've not seen before. Certainly looking forward to getting some seat time in this thing and really letting it open up. And then from the wild to the mild, this is the 11,000 mile M3 comp that we acquired from the first owner way back when out of Canada. Certainly gives you a good perspective, like the 9,000 mile M5 that we're driving now, what these can look like on the underside when they've been preserved to a really high degree. Driven still, so it's a little bit dirty here and there, and got all the original Cosmoline, certainly taken some dirt to it over the years, and it's a really sticky substance. But this is what you want your bottom of your E39 M3 to look like, that's for sure. This is original in every way, and certainly quite tidy and without any type of oxidation or rust. And then back to the wild, the Dynan S3 is another customer rejuve. So quite a few rejuves on the E46. There's actually a couple others that are not yet shown that were in this workshop just over the weekend, including the silver on red and another client rejuve. And then I think there might even be one outside, a E46 convertible that is a repeat car that we sold a number of years ago, and he shipped it in to us to go through the rejuve workshop program, now 5 years removed from his initial acquisition, which is something any and all of our existing clients have access and an option to do. If it's been a while since we've seen the car and you're interested in us going through it again, several years since it's been through the program, there will be things that we highlight that we didn't do back then that we've learned along the way. And it's a great way to support and reinforce your EAG car. Thanks for tuning in to this EAG First Look, Take 2 on the Imola Red E39 M5. It has been a fun one to make and is certainly a car that I'm going to miss selling quite a bit, but we do have to keep things moving and certainly looking forward to supporting the next owner throughout their ownership experience. We do have 3 more E39 M5s that are going to be coming to market soon, and we will be bringing them through our YouTube channel first as a first look opportunity, as we have done with this Imola Red. So if you're interested in picking up one of these amazing analog beasts for yourself, do subscribe and stay tuned. They're a colorful little group of cars that I think our fellow enthusiasts are going to certainly enjoy following along the way as we rejuvenate those cars back to near new for a second time. If you're interested in us going through your car, we are taking more rejuves, albeit with a bit of a delay from a scheduling standpoint. We are at a full house and have quite a few more cars coming that are not yet through the program, but we'll be taking more applications. Probably 6 weeks or so from now would be the next opportunity to have a slot. So without further ado, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe for more. See ya.